out of the first 3 games. Curious if that continues or not. That aside, bans coming in. Going to be a little bit of pressure towards TheShy to take away the Ornn, and they don't want to see that pocket Italy that he's willing to bring out. And that tells me it might actually be an early 369 Renekton.
Yeah, we'll see. And we really need to see something, I think, at a 369 here. I mean, I think that in the finals, he was just kind of a passenger. And, you know, in this fight for who is the better top laner out of 2 top laners who've been so excellent throughout the year, TheShy was the first to make his mark in the series. We'll see if he's able to do it again. A guy who's been so excellent on tanks. He's now drawn 2 out of the 3 initial bans. We're seeing Jarvan come through here for Kanavi. That means that IG is going to have to be very careful about taking champions that are unable to escape the Cataclysm.
Yeah, I mean, J4 has really risen in priority, especially in Fearless Draft. I mean, sometimes just having a better comp identity is big in these later games. What better way to start a comp identity than being like, okay, Jarvan, Flag and Drag, Cataclysm, you don't have Flash, big win for us. You do have Flash, you probably have to use it. And then we get another timer to have. So playing around Flash timer is going to be very significant here for top. As IG, they answer with a Skarner for Wei. I think that this is a good pick for him. Just kind of fits the comfort. And then MF, I mean, the Impale is really big for the bullet time, but MF is pretty vulnerable to Jarvan. The best defense you can really have is BT, push, and strength, which top esports are going to slam that Kalista Renata right off the bat. So we'll see what Meiko wants to grab to help with this. I think this is asking for a bard. Baby. It's just that or asking for a bard.
I want something super aggressive like a Blitzcrank to just be able to really try to punish this Renata, blow her up immediately before she can bail out, before she can drop her ultimate, because that ultimate is going to be so disruptive in this game. I mean, I respect that IG is sticking to what they think is good here. They are drafting for themselves, even at the risk of putting Gala in tough scenarios. I think the Bard was a good shout. I think it is the proper pick, but I would have very much preferred the Blitzcrank.
Between Skarner, between Bard, walls don't really matter for IG. So they're going to try and cheat that terrain.
They hit it in game 2. They'll just pass it in game 4.
Yeah, they're just going to magical journey their way right on through. As actually, Talia sniped out. That's something that we probably should have highlighted there. That was an option for Rookie, but I think Talia, a really tough pick in the Jarvan. You do not have good interactions in the Jarvan. He can get out of the... Like, he eats the stun from the Unraveled Earth, but he still gets the flag and drag through. Doesn't get comboed very easily. So I like the fact that Rookie doesn't go Talia, but also can respect the fact that it's still being banned, as Talia provides a lot of power just throwing the rocks out against Kanavi. As I mean, Jason can ban. TheShy has really deprioritized Renekton this year. Yeah. Those are the 2 bans that I would throw out if I want to blind Renekton. And I think that we could see that from TheShy here. As they're I mean, again, I think that you just slam Renekton here.
What else is it going to be?
And I mean, you might get the 369 Gragas, which could be big. You know.
Yeah, it really could, but, you know, that would
be a 9, could be a Karsa quote being Necro, you know? You never know.
It would be really good for top esports as well to be able to try to disrupt this misfortune and this Skarner a little bit more. It looks like we're going to see a blind Gwen coming through. Creme Zakali is available. It's being hovered. It's being locked in.
That is a good response, and I am surprised it is Gwen. I am a little surprised, again, it wasn't Renekton, as I really feel like Jason Kenneth Bans were setting up for that. But Gnar taken for 369, and now, Rookie, you got 5 pick. Couple of the good answers to Akali are missing. I don't like Silas that much this game. I think your value's not the best. I would like a TF a lot. I would like a TF a lot. I think the ability to cheat terrain, that gold card for me with Gwen, you got enough damage behind it. What?
Oh! Okay!
Mid Lulu? Or top Lulu?
Goodness. All right, where... Well, wait, what would be...
It's mid Lulu.
There's no way. It's gotta be
this is the answer to Akali. Yeah, I mean, you have the Polymorph, you got the shield, you have the R to disrupt the Akali R1 or R2. If you cast the R, that knockup cancels it. And
you get to buff your Gwen later.
Yeah, this is a wild one. I don't know if they have enough damage overall, but the Polymorph is... You can't doubt the value that's going to provide.
I saw them taking a while to trade, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, we're not getting that crazy. Yeah. Man, this is a left fielder.
This is a throwback. This is a throwback for sure.
I think the last time I've seen a mid Lulu, it was like, God, I think TL played it. I know that they played it top into a cannon, and then they got melted. But this is a very strong laning pick. Rookie has the ability to really punish and push around the Akali in lane. Your damage from the E, the auto attacks with the health picks, even the Glitter Lance, we can chain this together. It is an oppressive laning pick for Rookie, and you have defensive tools against Akali later on. Of course, the damage runs out, it falls off. This is a supportive pick for Rookie, but we'll see how much value he can get. And if TheShy can get going and he can buff up that Gwen, that's where some of the power of the Lulu, we could feel that later on. There definitely is enough damage, I think, with the Gwen and MF against the comp the top esports has. We'll have to see if that's the case.
The last time he played it was in 2021 summer against Thunder Talk. He is 19-13 on it in his career. The build had shifted to a little bit more supportive from full AP back in like 2018. We'll see what he picks up here as we're on Summoner's Rift for Game 4 of this best of 5 series. IG looking to send us the Silver Scrapes.
Yeah, it's time to do some research for the pro builds here. See if anyone's been playing on any Lulu. I'm getting a little fishy with it.
I've heard whispers, but I really haven't heard anything more to be.
I've not heard anything about this.
To be honest with you, it's not a whole lot. And yeah, you know, this is a really solid pick into this Akali. Now, the issue is that it still does fall victim to the Jarvan, right? This is a really nice pick, but it does fall victim to the Jarvan. So we'll see if Kanavi is able to get on top of Rookie and cause a lot of problems.
I mean, it can, but also you can cancel the flag and drag with your R. As you can see, Solo Q hates Mid Lulu over there on the Super server. I really can't blame them, as Mid Lulu does have a 43% win rate.
Scale very well, I don't think.
It does not. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking to see if anyone's been playing this mid at all. And I can't find it.
Where's the LS tier list? Where's the LS tier list?
Yeah, I mean, again, I can see the logic into Akali. Like, this would be an old school answer. Like, when looking at it, I mean, again, those auto attacks hurt. You can bully and punish early. The polymorph is big, but definitely a unique pick coming through for Rookie. We'll have to see if he can cash in.
See if he's able to get it done. Meanwhile, we've sent Gala up solo to deal with 369, and I really love this because this is the ranged Gnar. We did see this come through in LCK, and this is perfect. This allows TheShy to have a little bit of extra protection from Meiko.
All right. Well, I mean, it isn't a unique one. I think that TheShy, whenever you play Gwen, you want Gwen to get as many resources as possible. And so
Gala's
usually
up way too far.
I just disagree with this swap, like 4 Gwens, as we are going to see Gala.
Flash
the
for
flash.
flash.
Kanavi can't find it.
Yep, Gala does get slowed up, but it'll be okay. So, a bit of a punish there. I think you need a bit of perhaps a deeper reward.
Tough wave.
If you're going to do something like that. And now,
that's a good call out,
as you said,
actually.
bad position.
I like that call out on the word specifically, Yanni. I think that's a good read, because when you're that far up in lane, you can't do anything against the Jarvan like that. So, yeah, I mean, very peculiar start that we have here. Looks like we do have Gala moving down to find the 2v2, and this really boxes in TheShy, who has to TP to a really crap wave. And 369 is going to be up a hair, and JackeyLove is going to be up a good amount here against Gala.
Yeah, I like the idea. It just seems like after that gank, the execution has kind of gone to the wayside, and you know, you do lose out on any potential 2v2 power. Obviously, I do think Kalista Renata a little bit stronger than Bard Misfortune, but
100%,
Bard Misfortune can scrap. This is something that would be able to show up with a jungle gank coming through from Wei. So now that ability is still back on the table, and it means that Wei's game can have some ganks in it early on.
They can scrap, but not early on. Like early on, Renata Kalista with no base or first base. And taking this lane every
we're
time,
face checking here. We have no backup either. Gala's in trouble because JackeyLove will flash toward him and hop toward him. He's slowed up, and the Ren, the auto, it's there. They managed to get first blood, and now we're looking for a little bit more. Kanavi showing up. Meiko and Wei are out.
Very clear the top esports did not think, or IG didn't think the top esports would stick around that long. Just Gala face checking that one. JackeyLove and Hong making him look a little silly.
It's the guy without flash face checking, too.
Yeah, it's a big win. And Kanavi was even there too, so like the top pressure, he was at least there to hover and try to transition it into bot, which didn't even need his help. Successfully done by the squad, and a good start here for Top Esports.
Yeah, it feels like IG has kind of rolled their ankle out of the gate here, and they're going to be limping along for a little bit. A lot of your early game power now quashed behind, having to deal with the fact that you have no summoners whatsoever is going to be problematic for some of these fights, especially because you're not getting the usual raw power you'd expect out of your mid laner. You're getting a lot more utility. Dragon up on the table. It is an Ocean Drake. We have grubs. About 3 minutes is what that means, and you really want to secure these for TheShy.
I mean, would love to get grubs early on, but I think the situation across the map is pretty dim.
It's poor.
As we've got a Kalista that's ahead, Gwen that's very far behind in that top lane, and I mean, JackeyLove is only going to get further and further ahead, catching this massive bot lane, and just with the item advantage that he's sitting out in lane right now.
Yeah, it's very, very tough. He's down a lot of CS right now. The good news is, at least in the mid lane, hey, Rookie's up in CS. Things are nice there, as it looks like we are dealing with a couple of issues here. We're gonna have to cut away for a small second while we attempt to repair some of the issues that we've been dealing with on the feed just now. Cubby, early on, things not looking too good for IG. How are they going to be able to stop the bleeding and turn this around? Oh,
geez. I mean, we'll see. I think that for them, it's got to be, honestly, around the Lulu. The issue with the Lulu is that usually if you're going to play Enchantress mid, you want to pair it with a jungler that brings a lot of damage to the table. That jungler is not Skarner, and I don't think we're going to be seeing a damage Skarner here from Hwei. So, if anything, I think that it has to be a big bullet time probably coming out from Gala, or a big setup from Meiko.
Combo with,
I don't like the grub
ultimate
fight. I think grub fight is going to be very dangerous. If anything, they have tools to try and zone out the Kalista and go from there, but we'll see what ends up happening. As we're going to dive right back in. Shout out to our production for getting things sorted for us, as it looks like Dragon was sniped away by Kanavi there in the break.
Yep.
So,
and one further moment about the grubs is we're going to see a gank in the mid lane here. Kanavi's going to show up. I don't think they'll actually do anything to Rookie. It's just a push. You don't want to give them over to 369 for free either, right? This is going to be very problematic, as Rookie is all up in the face of these guys. He's going to pop his ultimate and try to continue to force away Kanavi and Creme and make sure that the conditions are not good to clear this wave.
I mean, good start for the Lulu, and the first mid Lulu we're seeing since Scout picked it in 2021 versus WE. That's been a lot of days, almost 1,500.
Yeah.
As Rookie bringing it back. Looks like Q max for him, so he's going to be going damage here on the Lulu, and it looks like a Roa to start. We'll see where he goes from there. Definitely an opportunity for him to grab some support items, like if they want to run double redemption or pick up a Shirelia's between the Bard and the Lulu, I would not be surprised at all. So just kind of curious to see where he ends up going. The only mid Lulu game I was able to find was a Ludens into a Storm Surge, so a very solo queue Lulu. I don't think we're going to be expecting to see that from Rookie here.
What do you think of the Rod of Ages, like, conceptually here? I think the Rod into Redemption seems like it could be pretty good.
I kind of hate Roa, actually, on Lulu. I think that you have to build AP. I don't think you get a lot of value out of like the mana and the health you're stacking, but that's okay.
I mean, you do have TheShy for your AP, so it looks like IG will sneak in, will sneak one grub, will magical journey their way out. So, it's fine, right? It's okay.
That is fine.
You get at least one. You make sure that 369 doesn't get all access to throw all three of them, and there was really never any danger.
The bummer for me is that they rotated up for this, honestly. Like, I'll take the one grub for two, but did you need to bring TheShy up for this? Because when you're playing Gwen, I think anytime that you can get Gwen more resources, it's big.
Yeah.
And kind of like going back... Yeah, like going back to game one, we definitely saw Top Esports cross-country IG a couple times, where I feel like we just saw that from TheShy here, who cross-countryed up to, kind of help with one grub. I don't think they necessarily needed him for that. He had TP, could have joined anyway. So, yeah, bit of a missed opportunity by IG there to maybe take a little bit more across the map.
Yep, that means that TheShy will continue to be down in CS. He's got 56 at the 9-minute mark here. This is not really where you want your Gwen to be, and Gala is also similarly struggling in the CS department. Your guys that you've been really hanging your hat on throughout the entire year as the strong laners of your team are the ones who have been put in some ill positions, and perhaps thinking about it more, that early lane swap is ill-fated because of it. You introduce instability to some of your most stable players. For the
I mean, I do think that getting MF out of the Callista Renata lane with the Bard is good. Like, you get smacked in that 2v2 very early on. So I can understand it from that aspect, like trying to at least flip how that matchup usually goes. But yeah, I mean, Gala losing Flash was significant. And I think it was a big part of the reason why we're seeing both TheShy and Gala be down a good chunk of CS against their opponents. So IG down 1,500 gold so far. And definitely a little bit of a hodgepodge composition where we think there can be enough damage, but frankly, where the damage is coming from, it would have to be from the threats of the Gwen and the MF, and both of those characters being very far behind. I think that is a concerning start for IG.
Yeah, things need to go really right for them, especially given the fact that you know that Gwen isn't going to be a big player in the early game. You're going to have to wait for a couple of items, or unless you find the really opportunistic fight. Those might be hard to come by. Now, Dragon will be up in 1 minute and 10 seconds. I do wonder if IG will try their luck at a fight. It's going to be very difficult to do so because, again, JackeyLove so far ahead. Hong with the hostile takeover as well against the stationary MF is just going to be a prospect that is going to be very difficult to deal with. It's going to require a tempered fate into a perfectly timed Skarner ultimate, into a perfectly timed bullet time, which just sounds like too much to try to accomplish at once.
Well, at least the Skarner ult can hold people in place for you with the bullet time. You know, that makes things a bit easier.
Yeah, it just has to be all perfectly timed is the issue.
It's okay. We'll see if
and you have to hit Kanavi, too. Otherwise, it could just get interrupted.
He's going to be a slippery one. I think that they're going to look for other members. It's sometimes hard to play around that flag and drag, which can buffer a lot. But see if IG's up to the task again. I think pretty easy for us to sit here and say that on paper, like, this comp looks like it's a little bit harder to execute for IG. I think I find that to be pretty reasonable. But yeah, they did in Game 3. And hey, I think that they benefited from the chaos of Game 3. Like,
true.
Rek'Sai did a lot of work. We were not expecting that coming in. So, got to give TheShy and IG some props. They were able to actually win out a little bit from all the chaos, and so they can do it again.
Dragon up right now, and it looks like Top Esports are the ones to start that one up. JackeyLove is there too. Her objective security is incredibly high with that combo, with that Rend available. Creme is looking to aggress a little bit on Rookie, but Rookie, a lot of movement speed. Here we go. People are cut off. Tempered Fate lands, and the Dragon got stolen. Here's the bullet time, but interrupted immediately by Kanavi. There's the hostile takeover as well, and now they're caught in the pit. Creme flashes.
Creme can't
get anywhere. Now we're going to look for Rookie, and Rookie is the one who's knocked up multiple times, pulled in, and taken down. Creme looking for Meiko. Heal is there, and the 5-point strike not enough to take out Meiko.
I mean, I think IG will take that Dragon. They get a Mountain Dragon for the rest of the game. Yeah, they lose out on the member, but that's a big steal away as Gala was able to take that one down with what looked to be just the rain, right? That was a kind of a goofy one here as Top really missed out on an opportunity, and that's a Dragon missed out by an Akali Callista Renata comp, and I know that we're looking at IG's comp. We're not exactly sure what the scaling is going to look like with a mid-Lulu pick that we haven't seen across major 4 regions all year. But yeah, that's a hell of an IC there. Bullet time canceled by Kanavi. That's well played. I mean, this fight ends up being tough. I think it's really big that Creme couldn't get in. Good flash from Rookie. That bought a lot of time before Creme got in. Rookie just took one step too far forward. Creme gets on him. Good synergy there from Kanavi to make sure that he falls. And then Meiko, the heal, going to be just enough space to get out of that last Q from Akali. So overall, I think IG is fine with that.
Him on the cape. Yeah, IG is really fine with that because breaking that Dragon stacking buys you at least 5 more minutes of TheShy scaling up in a position where, you know, if Top Esports secure the next 2, right? And that's exactly what you want. Opportunity to get TheShy into the game at any means necessary. We are a minute until the Rift Herald, and we know that Rift Herald is always a good opportunity for not only teams to secure another Dragon, but also break open the game in spots like these where Top Esports is hovering around a near 3,000 gold lead. They can bust it wide open with a good fight at the Herald.
Yeah, they have redemption advantage and, I mean, gold advantage at the moment. I think as long as redemption is showing in the inventory and there's no access to one from IG, This is where I would trade it out for, plates or free time on Gwen bot. So I think any time that IG can buy around this Rift Herald, you're okay sacking it if TheShy gets something on the other side. So, an important note, no parts of feats have been secured yet. A Rift secure would mean objectives at least go over to top esports, and we're still looking at first brick now that plates have fallen. So, feats very much up in the air.
Definitely favors top esports for the moment, though, because
yeah.
as long as you don't die 3 straight times before you get a kill in this next objective fight, you're sitting pretty for a potential boot upgrade. I did see the rookie invest his teleport into the top side here. So now TheShy will have to contend with Creme for now, with Creme having a level up for the moment. Okay, you see a little bit of combat in between the mid and top lane here as Creme very much getting the better of TheShy right now. Again, he is just far too weak at this point in the game to really contest against these solo laners for top esports. And even if he went against Kalista, I would be worried.
Yeah, he needs time. Akali into Gwen, actually pretty positive matchup, especially at this point of the game. Gwen needs some items to get big enough where Gwen can't get one-shot by Akali. But that is a pseudo counter we've seen a little bit in the top side. So good to see Creme at least hopefully taking advantage of that, as he is a very proficient Akali player. And yeah, I mean, this Rift fight, so far Creme has not had to come. TheShy is going to base and maybe try and TP in, but I think the Rift is already gone.
Yeah, that thing got melted. There was no hope there.
No chance for TheShy to join. He's just going to get the funding guys and go back bot. And yeah, I mean, no acceleration of the Gwen to trade out the Herald being taken. It's just a straight up win for top esports.
Almost a 3,500 gold lead now for top esports as they continue to pull away small leads in the mid and top lane, but that lead in the bottom lane is really where it's at. 1,500 gold. At least Gala has that Bloodthirster to keep him upright for a little bit, but it is still not a ton of damage at this point in the game, especially early on where Misfortune can be really strong. We've got this dragon up in 30 seconds. You know that top esports is going to want to pick this one up.
Seconds away. I really don't see the strength in IG's inventories to match the might the top esports can bring to this one. I look at the mid difference, the gold advantage too for JackeyLove. The power is showing in the inventory as well. Redemption has at least been matched by Meiko, but I think for IG, I mean, yeah, they're down quite a bit of gold. I think a lot of their fights are just going to rely around a superior setup and execution. Again, I think their fights are a little bit difficult to execute, but we'll see if they're up to the task. They're definitely going to be fighting this one, I think, down tempo and down strength. As Rift Herald is popped and will be driven into the mid-outer.
Okay, nice.
We'll buy the Bardol, but I think that means you're dropping this Dragon. As that is the biggest tool in terms of opening up the setup for IG around a potential fight. I'd be very surprised if they wanted to commit to a full fight after that.
Maybe they'll try to look for a pick here. I am very surprised by this. We're even getting a TP. All right, well, you have to go in. The exhaust is out. They throw everything at Wei, and Wei's forced to flash away. He's stuck in the Cataclysm, too. His Impale comes in so late. What is IG doing? TheShy has now been caught out, and he's going to fall. What a hostile takeover from top esports. And IG should consider themselves lucky they were in a position to lose everyone from that fight.
Yeah, I did not see that fight for IG, and top esports, they saw a fight for themselves that was pretty positive, as the Gwen's just not big enough yet, and I really disagree with IG trying to match every objective. Like, you need to trade out some of these objectives, get strength on stride. Look at his lane. He has the entire lane to play through. If they stall this out, you could actually buy a TP away from 369, where you could open up a window later on in the game to play with TP advantage. Instead, they TP in and try and contest when they're down money, down tempo, down raw strength, the champions on the map, and they get blitzed by top esports because they opted into a fight that was better for top at this point of the game.
This is another scenario of IG seemingly not understanding where the strength of their comp lies in this game. The early game had passed you by. You are not strong enough with the Misfortune combo, with with the Impale. It just would not happen, even if you put it together. You will have to rely on getting the Shy to late game, and instead we're forcing fights for no reason. For a dragon that we could have given up because we took one earlier. And now they're down 5,000 gold, Cubby, 20 seconds away from an Otacon on the bot side. This is a scenario that IG has found themselves in this series before, and a scenario that they have not won. Stun going down on a Creme, but it doesn't mean a thing.
I mean, you have an Otacon fight coming up. That's a really big objective. Look at where Gwen's at. Like, you're not at 2 items yet. I think that you really want to have Gwen, like, at an item and a half to 2 items at this point of the game if you're going to even think about contesting stuff like an Otacon. And they've taken away that own scenario from themselves because of how aggressively they've tried to play around these objectives when they've just been down strength. And, I mean, again, like, the Bard ulting of the tower, I really felt like it was going to be a straight give and play for Gwen after that. The fact they opted into the fight after blowing their biggest setup tool for me to really, you know, open up these windows for a big bullet time, a big impale, or, I mean, even a big wild growth, right? That can combo kind of nicely off of some stuff. That's all gone, and now you're staring at Otacon being sniped down by Top Esports, and they have the Callista Smite. I don't think there's any contest available for IG.
Oh, Gala tried it again. Here comes the bullet time over the top one for JackeyLove. JackeyLove is bleeding out. They got him, and he will fall. Okay, here we go. The Shy down to about half HP. They were not able to secure the Otacon that time. It went to Top Esports. But can IG get anything more? It feels like they must, but they can't. It's just JackeyLove.
Bullet time. Otacon still falls as Top Esports. They didn't get too many flowers off that, so I don't think it's a massive game changer.
Kanavi once in. All right, Way.
Look at 369.
Magical journey. Creme is cut off. 369 on the backside. The Shy is dead. And Rookie is just cut off from the team, unable to help. But Kanavi bleeds out. Gala starting to make plays. Hang on. This is a big turnaround. Creme is low, being chased down by Way. Will he be able to escape with that Cloud Rift trying to help him out? Way trying to be the big driver. And he slams Creme up against the wall. And he shuts him down.
Big fight from IG. The Lulu was actually huge in this one as the wild growth from Rookie pretty much nullifies the Akali trying to go in and fight. And they went into an MF where not all the tools they had were available. Their biggest carry, the biggest lead they had was in JackeyLove, not at the fight. And Top Esports, they biff it a little bit as they give IG a route back into this game. Let's take another look from the start. This is a beautiful bullet time coming out. Synergized very nicely with the Shy. JackeyLove gets 100 to 0'd in that window. And then, I mean, the rest of the fight is kind of Top running. The re-engage, though, very questionable here from Top, and I think we really saw the strength of the Lulu in this skirmish. As I want you to keep your eyes on Rookie. I mean, first off, Meiko getting out of this is huge. Cataclysm kind of nullified. But look at Creme trying to go in here. He's going to take down the Shy, but now Rookie's able to get involved in the back half of the fight. And yeah, that wild growth onto Gala was clutch. That was a fight winner. As if Gala goes down, I mean, the bailout connects on a Kanavi, so he lives as the Jarvan. But that wild growth was clutch as hell. As Rookie makes sure that his carry gets to stand tall. They went out on the rest, and we're back into another bullet time.
This is good damage, but again, another good hostile takeover. And here's the attempted turnaround. Way is forced out, but Kanavi is getting low. The Shy trying to get his ultimate down. Ew, what a protection job there by Rookie, but he's not able to get it done. And now we're looking to kill Meiko as Top Esports are starting to pull back once again.
I mean, guys, we saw one fight without JackeyLove and another fight with JackeyLove. That seemed to be a big difference for Top Esports as JackeyLove was able to stand and fire, was a giant hostile takeover from Hong to really stop IG in their tracks, and that bullet time just didn't quite connect in the same way. They were missing out on the damage over the top from the Shy this time around, as let's see how this one at least started off. Way goes in, finds the Impale on the JackeyLove, but he gets stuck. So he can't really drag them back in, and JackeyLove, that stun from Meiko was good, but he was just outside of the range from the bullet time. Now the Shy, I think he played this fight a little bit too fast. That wild growth actually took 2 members out of the Tempered Fate from Meiko, which is a big deal because he could have followed up with a Q afterwards. So he goes down, and now the tempo increases. Creme.
Okay, not able to actually take out Ways. He provides some protection for the Shy, who 0 and 3. Take a look. Rookie did not go into Redemption, that second item. Instead, he's going for the Staff of Flowing Water. I actually very much like this pickup. I think that's a wise choice there, but Redemption is such a powerful item, though. So
it is.
It's unfortunate not to have it, but it does give you a little bit of extra damage.
They already have
if you're
one.
a rookie.
This does really
Meiko?
buff up Gwen. Like, the Gwen Qs are going to hit
so
a little bit different with this item. So that, and also, I mean, it increases the bullet time, right? It's increasing your power on the abilities. So I'm actually really curious to see, like, what Gala can do with any of these buffs that Lulu's going to be providing. I can't remember the last time I've even seen this item built. But keep in mind,
I built it the other day.
It's 45 ability power for 4 seconds. MF definitely has some AP scalings on top of Gwen, you know, with that bullet time, with that Make It Rain. So I guess there is some real value here for IG in this item.
We'll see if they're able to make the most of it. This Baron is up. It feels like this game is hanging on a thread for IG. Their eyes on the 3rd world seed to avoid T1, hanging by a thread, and yet they are still alive. They are still in it now. Cubby, with top esports on 3 dragons and a soul on the horizon in 3 minutes, what sort of impact do you expect the Cloud Soul to have on this game? Do you think it is going to put top esports over the top?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cloud Soul is really big, actually, in terms of you're trying to get out of bullet times, you're trying to get out of Tempered Fates, you're trying to get out of Impales. You're giving Cloud Soul to a Jarvan, Gnar, Kalista, Akali, a comp that kind of needs to close the gap and make plays.
Seems so good.
It's the highest win rate Soul. You know, I sometimes hate to beat that drum, but
that's fake sometimes. But in this game,
I think this game is
real.
very effective. You're looking for angles ultimately. Can definitely help provide angles. That said, I'm a little bit worried about getting to Gala. I think that as this game moves forward, this damage from top esports is going to fall off. Like, you don't have the same burst damage at this point of the game that you had earlier on with the Akali. I still think that if Creme connects a Shuriken backflip on the Gala, then, I mean, you can melt, but you got to go through a wild growth, a polymorph, and a lot more in theory to try and reach Gala. And, I mean, Gala is building the IE items. He's pretty big.
Yeah, he's huge.
We could see what, like, this is, again, kind of a science experiment. Like, we haven't seen a Lulu like this in a little bit, so I think we're all kind of learning together what the impact of this staff of ever-flowing water Lulu is going to have on this misfortune and this game. But at even items, I'm going to take the team with a Lulu 27 minutes in, and that 80 carry, frankly, over whatever the other team has, because Gala can do a lot with that pick. As Lulu, no better friend doing 80 carry than a Lulu.
I think what IG needs to do in whatever the next upcoming fight is to somehow bait this hostile takeover out of Hong. Allow
That's a good call.
Gala the ability to
Yeah.
sit with this bullet time. Yeah, Hong's hostile takeovers have been so good this game. They're hitting multiple members, and if they're not, they're forcing IG to scatter, which is the antithesis of their entire game plan. A minute until this dragon is up. That could be the time. JackeyLove's Terminus has been completed. This series could hit the Terminus as well in 55 seconds.
Yeah, it could send us all to the terminals to go to Dallas for the rest of the weekend, too.
True! I cannot wait.
Yeah, double Black Cleaver on the top side. I gotta say, for this one, 369 is gonna have to get another Mega Timer going. He's gonna look to pop it and then get another one going. He's gonna have it on time for a Dragon. He's done a nice job of managing this one. I think the Shy being at 2 items is nice, but it's not dire.
He's starting to hit hard a little bit.
He's hitting harder, but I mean, this isn't a 3-item Gwen that can threaten. This is what top esports can do. Kalista can play very aggressively and liberally around these objectives and threaten those smites. Again, top esports, they love a Cloud Soul, but they don't have to take it. They could easily give one for a Baron and be very happy about that, too. As they have, I mean, they've only taken down 2 turrets. A Baron would, in theory, net them 3 to 4 turrets minimum.
So little vision coming out here. Now we're seeing some teleports happening on the map here. It's 369. He's going to immediately meet the Shy in the jungle. We'll see if Wei wants to move toward him because, yes, he is very far up. He's still mini. Wei can't get close enough as this dragon is just getting melted. Temper Fate's coming through. Here we go. IG really want a piece of this. The Shy is not full HP. The Redemption is coming out just for themselves. Here we go.
Take over.
Hostile takeover. 1, 2. Hitting 3. Hit the Misfortune on the backside, too. And that's a problem. Gala can flash. He can run. But he can not hide. Top Esports have beaten IG in this fight. They may have just beaten IG in this series. They get an ace, they get a soul, they get a Baron.
I mean, I think it's kind of tough for IG to check some of these brushes, but a lackadaisical approach to a Cloud Soul in a do-or-die game when you have to win this game to make it to Worlds, or if you lose, you have a best of 5 to win just to face Faker and T1. IG not awake, not up to the task, as they let the Dragon go to the wayside, sign up for a terrible fight afterwards, and that bleeds into a Baron as well, as Top Esports has taken full control of this Game 4 and are bound to book their tickets to Worlds.
IG never met a fight they didn't like, but on Saturday, maybe they should reconsider some of these. Take a look at this replay again. They were never in position, and once again, it's Hong with another great hostile takeover.
I mean, the hindsight to me is why chase 369 earlier? Because, like, you saw 369 exit after the TP in. You could have avoided him and tried to get to that banana brush faster, and then kind of like played around that line, maybe gotten a little bit of Dragon Vision earlier on. They had to play that one so fast because they chased 369. It prompted a pretty poor tempered fate, just using it for scouting and to buy time to actually get in. And again, that's the biggest engage, the biggest setup tool we've been teasing for IG. The fights where they haven't been able to use it positively. Think about the Dragon fight they signed up for when they used it on their turret, or that one just chasing 369 completely unwarranted. I think gave them a very bad Dragon setup overall, and that's going to give Top Esports complete control of the game, complete control of the series, and only a couple steps away from making Worlds.
And complete control of their destiny,
That's
too.
It. That's it.
It's another one. The exclamation point does not come from the mid lane. It does not come from the AD carry. It comes from your support. Hong, a fantastic series. He has been the better support. He has willed Top Esports to their 3rd seed to Worlds and critically avoids a date with Faker.
JackeyLove makes Worlds. I mean, again, Top Esports, they have been our #1 team if you combine the 3 regular seasons of the 3 splits we've had for LPL. And for JackeyLove, a player who won MVP, who is back.
Thank you very much to Yanni and Cubby for a tremendous cast of this series. And man, thought that maybe we were looking at Silver Scrapes. Thought we got pretty excited about the draft and everything like that. But fortunately for my analysts down here who both
usurped.
No, we're good. We're still cruising, Yanni. What are you talking about?
We're cruising.
It's a big one for
JackeyLove.
JackeyLove.
Baby.
A big one for Top Esports.
I thought we weren't back, but we are back. Yes, it is huge. These guys get an opportunity finally to right their wrongs from Split 1. You know how long they had to sit on that failure at first stand? Because you know that we talked about it over here. You know it was talked about it over in LPL circles over in China. And you know those guys have been thinking it too. And they are going to get their opportunity. It took them a little bit longer than they would have wanted, but they are finally going to get it. And with the way this team has played lately, I am excited to see them take on the rest of the world. And I hope that the caster desk feels the same way, because we're going to kick it back over to them for them to review this series.
And now you get us surreal. Welcome back, everybody, to the desk. Thank you very much to Yanni and Cubby for a great cast of that 3-1 series. And hey, looks like the play-by-plays were the more correct people in terms of our predictions this time around. All good blocks are here to finish off our coverage of this series. Congratulations once again to Top Esports for booking their ticket to Worlds. And man, Alk, it felt inevitable from the start, but we had a little bit of hope for IG going for the miracle run at during that Game 4.
Yeah, there was look, I even got some drool over here from my cat because I think she fell asleep thinking that we were going to win this game. Like, there was hope there, and I love the call towards the end. Hong stepping up and being the support that Top Esports needed after a year of ups and downs with Crisp, obviously then trading him for Hong. Nobody thought this was going to be the right fit for this team. Nobody thought that Hong was going to be the guy that helped Top Esports finish top 2 and now qualify as the 3rd seed going into Worlds for the LPL. I'm really excited for this team. Obviously, it hasn't been as clean of a year that maybe some of the Top Esports fan wants, but they've proven to be a top-level team here in the league, and they deserve to go to Worlds more than any other team here.
It's been a fun ride here for Invictus Gaming, and it hasn't ended just yet as they get to play against the winner of JDG versus Weibo on Saturday, Blockster. But, at least, here's the thing I'll say. They were able to experiment a little bit. They whipped out some fun stuff, and the theory was definitely there. It's just the way that things were eventually executed, maybe were not.
Yeah, I mean, like we were highlighting already, Hong on both the Nico and then on the Renata in this game was going off on one. There were multiple team fights where maybe there's a chance, maybe there's a way you can make this one work, and then all of a sudden there's a 4-man, there's a 5-man hostile takeover coming over the top of everyone, and what can you do at that point? It made it almost impossible to play out, and we never really got to see that fight that you're looking for in a composition that has a Lulu. There was never a moment where you're able to just sit there and buff up the MF, bop up that Gwen, and get them rolling into the later stages of the game. They were dying almost immediately, the hostile taker was coming on through, and it was just so tricky to play out. You see it here, I mean, every single time the hostile takeover happened, there was just, it just stopped anything IG were building, any momentum that they had dead in its tracks.
I'm looking at this draft again, and from Top Esports perspective, Corki has been a champion that has been getting banned repeatedly. Not because I think Gala is going to be able to play it, but mostly I think it band-aids a lot of the early laning phase for this bottom lane. And then the second 2 bans in blue side, first pick is Ornn and Nidalee. The Nidalee one more often, I think, for TheShy because they're potentially setting up for a Gnar angle in this game. I'm looking at this and I'm just like, what happened in top lane? Because the Camille game didn't work. Barely did we get over the hump in game number 3 to kind of bring us here. And then we have Gwen TheShy, who didn't mechanically perform well. The Lulu, in theory, works with with this champion, but I don't think it's a great pairing with an MF. And then you have a tank jungler. So, am I just waiting for Skarner to be the main engage?
Yeah.
That's not great. Like, I think there are bits and pieces of this draft that could work, but we didn't really get to see any great tank play coming in for TheShy, which is where he mostly made his bread and butter going throughout the regular season.
And, you know, obviously, given the way the result of this game ended, the use of the word love is embarrassing a little bit here, but I love the way that IG drafted this game for comp and played even the first 5 minutes of the game. Lane swapping TheShy down to the bottom lane to help him get the early levels, trying to really funnel into that top side where you'd have the Lulu-Gwen combo to 1v9 the game. That's what we were hoping for all game long. But then they just start flipping these major objectives at 10 minutes before we get fully scaled, and it results in Top Esports with their, you know, more early game oriented comp and champions like Kalista for JackeyLove to be able to really take off, and IG were never able to get into that best position.
No, they were just constantly fighting in spots where they really didn't have a way in. You saw it multiple times. We've seen it in these highlights as well, where you've got so much setup around an objective already from Top Esports. They've also got themselves a combo that should almost always just be able to secure if you're already there, right? Your Kalista throwing those spears in, you should just be able to Ren smite it away, and there's no way of stealing it. So if you want to fight at these objectives, you have to get there first, or you just have to give up and go trade it for a different objective on the other side of the map. We were never seeing that. Instead, every single time, IG felt like they were going to be tourists to go watch the Drake get taken down, and then the hostile takeover across multiple members to draw them in, and the fights were lost from there. There was just bad decision making throughout the entirety of that late mid game and then into the late game, and it was really rough to watch.
Just like decision making, I think that the entire all of post season here for IG has been bad decision making. That's been the hallmark of them getting knocked out of these playoffs in 5th, 6th. Like, what is going on with these guys? I mean, Hong deserves an MVP. Very glad. I'm happy for him, especially for the year that he's had after what was a terrible time on Weibo. Now he gets to go to Worlds and hopefully bring some glory to the LPL at the World Championship later on this year. But IG, they need to kick it into overdrive now. There's no more, we get a little bit of a break. You get basically a day and a half before you get to see the winners of Weibo and JDG. We actually have our bracket ready for everybody at home as to what's going to be happening later on. These next 2 days are going to be the last 2 broadcasts we have here on LPL English, and unless that JDG Weibo series is truly the most disgusting series of all time, I have a hard time, even as the IG faithful here, seeing them being able to beat whatever team comes through the lower bracket.
I'm excited, though,